Alright guys, so I had a question on why I don't just log off my woods instead of select cutting and thinning like I'm doing now. This right here is why. This 7 acres of hillside and woods was clear cut 8 years ago, and there was nothing left except for that tree and obviously them tall trees on the line up there. But all this other stuff, minus this little group of oaks right here, was cleared off. As you can see, all those box elders are 16 foot tall or better. We've got popple trees, oak trees and stuff just kind of growing up wherever. They're growing like crazy. Got a bunch of popple trees over here growing like crazy. What I have found since logging this off is that when you go through and select cut and you open up a little area here and a little area there, it's easier to get grass established. And you don't get the briars and all this other brush like you do here where it was clear cut. Normally with woods, it's almost like the ground is more acidic from all the leaves to begin with, so the grass struggles to get growing right away. But briars do not. They are an opportunist to no end. So they get growing up and they choke out the grass. So then the grass doesn't stand a chance. So if you open up a smaller area, get the grass growing, and it's like if you don't open up too big of an area, you don't get the briars. And these things are just nasty. And if you can see the thorns on them. So that is why I do it the way that I do it. You know, I've made videos in the other woods where we're thinning it out and getting grass to grow, and we don't have this problem over there. But now in here we do. And the other issue is, this was supposed to be the greatest thing. All the people I talk to have somebody log it who's going to do it like this, and they skid everything to one location, which actually they did in 3 locations, but this is the biggest one. They skid everything to here, and then they have a processor that cuts all the log length, piles them right here, and then a forwarder comes and grabs them and then hauls them out to the trucks. Well, the problem with that is the processor, which is mounted on an excavator, keeps driving over top of this pile, and he's delimbing right on this pile. He keeps going back and forth, and he cuts the logs, drops them here, and keeps doing it. And then all the stuff that they don't want ends up on this pile. And the problem with that is, this is so tangled and packed together that you cannot get anything apart in it. And then there's so much other crap in there that you put your chainsaw in there and you're dull within a minute. It is a major pain in the rear. My plan is to burn this if we get any more snow, which we will. But the wind's got to be the right direction. Get some snow. I'm going to burn this pile and get it the heck out of here. But if you notice, look at how much stuff is here. I mean, this is 3 years worth of firewood for me alone, if not more, that I have tried cutting stuff out, and it is just a pain. So there was, on this 7 acres, there was 70 cord of oak that left here on trucks. Now look at all the stuff that's left here. Now I know what I got paid for those 7 loads. And let me tell you what, if I would have cut it for firewood, I would have been a lot farther ahead. I'd had a lot more money in my pocket. Not to mention, it probably wouldn't look like this in here today. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, it was just bare to the ground, all the way up to those tall trees. We come out here and we planted red clover, orchard grass, and a few other things on top of the hills, where it's easier to mow. I have that brush saw. We've been mowing that down, and there's good grass and clover growing up there. But on these side hills, it never did establish very well. So these briars come up the following year and just choked everything right out. And I mean, it is just so thick. So, you know, I come out here every year and mow some with that brush saw. But it's pretty overwhelming when you've got a mess like this everywhere. And it's hard to mow it or cut it. And that crap's getting tangled up around you and getting stuck to you, and you're dragging it around. And so that is why I don't have the loggers come log the other woods out, or my woods across the road, or those woods over there. I just go through and select cut and plant grass. And I've been having much better luck with that. So that is why I don't have loggers come log it, so we can get it done. Not to mention I need firewood for heating my house and my shop. And all of those that are interested to know, that little building that I built for the skid steer has drastically reduced the amount of firewood we are using. I used to fill that stove twice a day. I fill it once a day now, and a lot of times there's still wood left in it when I fill it. So that has made a huge difference. And the other thing, touching on land, around here, a lot of wooded ground is around 1,000 to 1,500 an acre, and cropland is around 3,000 an acre. And you can make more per acre with cattle than you can with crops. Ask anybody around here that farms, they'll tell you the same thing. The reason there are people around here that don't have cattle and they have crops is because they don't want to deal with cattle. That's plain and simple it. A lot of the people that are still farming, cropping, are older and they don't want to deal with cattle anymore. But they will tell you that you can make more money with cattle. And, you know, maybe if corn hit $7 again, that's a different story. But at $3, you can make more per acre with cattle. Now, cropland is 3,000 an acre and up. You can buy wooded ground for 1,000 to 1,500 an acre. You can go through and sell firewood, which is instant income. You can log some of it off, go through and select cut. Do not clear cut like I did here. You know, you can go through and select cut, get some cash right away, get fences built. Then you can go through and select cut, cutting firewood to open up different areas, get grass to grow. That's more cattle that you can feed, you know, and all of a sudden you're taking cheaper ground and making it productive. So, you know, when I bought this farm, it was, I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for it, because you'd be like, how did you only spend that on it? The other piece of ground I bought, because it had swamp and everything on there, I bought it cheap. Because none of the big guys want it. None of the crop guys want it. They can't pencil it out. When you're taking out that kind of debt on a piece of ground, and there's a certain percentage of it that's uncroppable, they can't pencil it out. So somebody like me that has cattle, all of a sudden can make money with that ground. And honestly, I'm trying to find more wooded ground to buy. Like hence trying to buy that piece of property, or the one to the south of me. The one behind me will never be for sale. That is a condominium back there, and they're I don't know, 400 or 500 acres. That will never, ever, 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 ever be for sale, because it's a condominium. Where those trees are, that's the property line. So I can never get land back there, but I can continue going that way, and I can continue going that way. And I would love to go both directions if the land or the opportunity ever presents itself. I can take wooded ground and turn it into a profit. I can turn it into a productive system that makes money with cattle. So, anyways, that is why I do not log it off. In the property to the south of me, that has been select cut, 6 years ago now. They went through and they logged out a bunch of the oaks. And let me tell you what, there's a lot of maple in there that's worth a lot of money right now. If it were me, I would probably go through and have loggers select cut it, take out some of the better maple, open it up just a little bit, and then I would go through and do what I'm doing here. Somebody mentioned a firewood processor on a skid steer. You are 100% correct. If I got more ground that had mature timber in it, that is exactly what I would do. I would buy a firewood processor that mounts on the skid steer, and I would probably start selling firewood. But for what I have right now, I'm not going to invest that kind of money into it. So, and with what I have right now, I don't want my other wooded land to look like this. So, I mean, I'm almost giving up on this for keeping the brush back, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna get some Tordon or something like that and go through and maybe spray some of this brush and see if that works versus the mower. You can mow it all you want, but it just comes back. Like I say, maybe come through and spray some of it and see if we can't get grass to grow. But otherwise, I think in about another 10 years, this is going to look like the piece of ground over here that I want to buy from this neighbor, because that was logged off in 04. So, you know, in 10 more years, this is going to look just like that. Maybe not quite as bad, because this does have cattle in it, but they can't keep up with that brush. If I had a driveway cut up there, I'd consider trying to roll bales or something down the hillside and feeding cows there. Then maybe they'd kill the brush and get grass to grow. But right now I don't have a trail made up there, so that's out of the question. But anyways, it's just something for you to think about. Anybody think about if you want to raise cattle, take some cheaper ground and make it productive ground. So yeah, what a mess. And of course there's box elders growing. I hate them things. They come out like a bush like that, and they don't burn very good, and they're just a mess. But maybe if we get this pile burnt here, maybe we'll go through and cut them down and run them through the New Holland wood chipper. I know Corey League, he likes that. So I got a bunch of brush here to chip this spring. You guys can see all the cut down there from what I thinned out over there more. Run all that through the chipper and try and see if I can't pull some of this other brush out of them piles and chip it. And then over on the other side I got more brush to chip too. So anyways, just something for you to ponder. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.